We welcome you into beautiful Phil Welch Stadium here on a gloomy Friday night, but at least the overcast clouds are keeping that hot sun away. My name is Seth Morey. I thank you for joining me tonight as the Clarinda Athletics look to take on the Mustangs here in the third game this week that these two foes have faced off. We're down south this evening here in Phil Welch, a beautiful stadium, beautiful night for baseball as the Athletics coming into this one 16-2 on the year. And on the other side, it's the St. Joesph Mustangs. They're 10-9 so far this season. These past couple of games have been very interesting between the Mustangs and the Athletics as Monday, game one ensued. It was a close pitcher's battle that ended up going the Athletics' way. 3-2 was the final score of that one on Monday. Then just last night at Emberly Field, the Athletics won in dominating fashion, causing a run rule in the seventh inning. 10-0 was the score last night. So the A's have been on a hot streak. They've been on an absolute heater. They've only lost their second game of the season. That was this week, earlier against the Carroll Merchants. They blew a big lead late. It's the only time that they've done it so far this season, though. So we'll see that they can get done in opponent territory tonight. We'll get to the starting lineups presented by KMA Sports. All of their equipment, just my voice. We thank them very much for their generous donation to the Clarinda Athletics. First, for the visiting St. Joesph Mustangs. Batting first at shortstop, it's Chris Coy. Batting second at second base, it's Seth Winkler. Batting third and in the outfield and right field is Frank Gall. Behind Gall, batting fourth is the first baseman Jaden Little. Batting fifth, center fielder Micah Kobashevsky. Batting sixth is the catcher Zach Kraft. Behind him, batting seventh, is the third baseman Tyler Gundelfinger. Batting eighth is a designated hitter Charles Stevens. And rounding out the order is the left fielder Carter Belton for the Athletics. Or excuse me, for the Mustangs, I should say. Now for the starting lineup for your Clarinda Athletics. Batting first for the A's is the shortstop, Sean Bazemore, familiar face there. Batting second, the center fielder, Andrew Young, a very similar start to the lineups that we see most nights. Batting third is the second baseman, Cole Baumgart. Behind him, batting fourth is the designated hitter tonight, Parker McNeil. Batting fifth, the first baseman, John Petrie. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Evan Bradshaw. Batting seventh, the catcher, Braden Olson. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Oscar Uhas, and then rounding out the order for the Athletics is the left fielder, Grant Lockins. So the A's looking to try and capture their 17th Mink League leading win of the season. Whenever we come back, we'll have more here from Phil Welch Stadium. After the conclusion of the national anthem, whenever we come back, it'll be first pitch time. Back in just a moment here in St. Joe. Back here in St. Joe as we get ready for the exciting and anticipating start for this one between the 16-2 Clarinda Athletics and the 10-9 St. Joesph Mustangs. My name is Seth Morey. I thank you all for joining me tonight. Hopefully we have a steady stream this evening. Any issues, though, just hang tight, and I will have them fixed quickly. Once again, we thank you for joining us here. I'm not sure how many people knew that we were going to be away this evening. I try to go to any away games that I can. It's the first one this season. Obviously, very busy, broke college kid, trying to make money. That happens to us all. Was able to come out to Phil Welch tonight, just a short drive south to St. Joe, and watch the Athletics take on the Mustangs in the third game that they've played this season, third game that they've played so far this week against the Mustangs. Starting on the mound for St. Joesph, it's Landon Janes. He will get the Stangs started in what hopes to be a nice outing starting pitching-wise. The Mustangs have struggled on the mound thus far, especially in the games where they've played the Athletics. A lot of pitches hitting the backstops, a lot of mistakes between the pitcher and catcher. We'll see how the communication is tonight as we will get the throw down to second from Zach Kraft. And you know what that means. It's baseball time here in the Mink League. So it'll be Sean Bazemore ready to start it out for the Athletics here this evening as the trumpet sounds, and Bazemore will bat from the right-handed side of the box against the righty Janes. Defense starts the game playing straight up, and we'll see this evening's first pitch. That one's going to plunk Bazemore. First pitch in the rivalry matchup, and they're going to put Bazemore on. That's the last thing the Mustangs pitchers can afford with the past couple of games that they've had, so they're going to let Bazemore on. One pitch, and Bazemore is on first by way of the hit by pitch from Landon Janes. If you know any family members that might be looking to watch the A's game, they might be on the Mustangs stream, send them over our way. We'll see all of our usual folks in here. We love seeing the viewer count go up, seeing the support for the A's. That one's going to go right to the backstop and allow Bazemore to advance to second. A problem that has plagued the Mustangs these past few games shows up here on the second pitch of game number 3. We've seen it a lot these past few days if you've been joining me on the broadcast. And it happens there again. This time, Landon Janes, I'm not sure if it's some sort of a little curse that they have going on, but another pitch goes to the backstop. And Sean Bazemore now a runner in scoring position with only 2 pitches thrown this evening. That pitch is going to be outside. 2-0 now the count. Here against the 2-hole batter, Andrew Young. Young, we often see a little lower down the lineup, but he's worked his way up this season. He's been outstanding at the plate this year. Had a couple of hits of his own last night. Janes at the belt. He'll kick and fire. That one's going to be just low and inside. 3-0 now the count. To Andrew Young. He has yet to find the strike zone here in this one. Here's the 3-0 from Janes. That one's high and outside, and a couple of free passes issued by Landon Janes to start this one. Runners on first and second for the Athletics. That's the last thing that you can let up to a dangerous team like the A's, as now that will give way to Cole Baumgart. So Baumgart stands in, righty-righty matchup at the plate. And it looked like the home plate umpire might have issued a warning to the dugout. And there's another hit by pitch up on the high part of the back of Cole Baumgart. 2 batters hit from the Mustangs. Now the bases are juiced with nobody out. That's unbelievable. Yeah, we're going to have a pitcher's meeting. Not even 10 pitches into this game. Boy, what a predicament that the Mustangs have put themselves in already. This is just a personal thought. I feel like their approach these past few games against the A's, a lot of mental errors really, and some missed pitches here from Landon Janes. I'm not sure if he's got the yips or what he's got. But the ball is hitting the backstop and it's hitting the batters. A couple of batters hit. And bases are juiced with nobody down here in St. Joe. And it will be the designated hitter, Parker McNeil, to bat. Lefty-righty matchup in favor of the A's. We'll see what McNeil can do here. Bases loaded, nobody down here in the first. Trouble for the Mustangs. Janes kicks and fires. That one's in there. There's the first strike of the game for the Mustangs. He'll get a roar from the crowd supporting him. As now 0-1 is the count for St. Joseph. 0-1 the count to Parker McNeil. Here's the pitch from Janes. That one's going to be outside. 1-1 count now evened up. Bases juice, nobody down. No hits in this one for either team. The bases are loaded. There was a hit by pitch to Basmore, a walk issued to Young, and then hit by pitch to Baumgart. Both Basmore and Baumgart were hit on the first pitch of the at-bat. 1-1, that one's going to be low. 2-1 now the count. The Mustangs did issue a walk with the bases juiced last night against the A's that scored one of the 10 runs that evening in Clarinda. We'll see if they do it again. It's a 2-1 count, though, to McNeil. That pitch is swung on and fouled straight back towards the left side and into the netting. The ball will stay for strike two. 2-2 the count here in St. Joseph. Mustangs already in a tough spot. Got a chance to get the first out of the game, though, for Janes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be high. 3-2 now the count. Boy, can't pitch around him here. Back here in St. Joseph, I do apologize. We did lose connection there for just a moment. We're back and ready to go, as it was Evan Bradshaw that struck out for the inning's second out. 0-1 now the count to the 7-hole batter, Braden Olson. That one's going to be just low and outside. 1-1 now the count. Pitch count already on the rise for Landon Janes. It's exactly what the A's wanted here to start this one. A little bit of a fog moving in. This counts at 1-1 with the bases juiced. Here's the pitch from Janes. That one's inside. Ball two. And we thank you for being with us through thick and through thin. Sometimes it's thin, a little bit more than it's thick. 2-1 the count against Olson. Here's the pitch. That one's high and inside. 3-1 now the count. This one has to be there. 2 down, 3-1 against the batter, Braden Olson. He's catching tonight behind the plate. The only catcher the A's have on their roster after the injury to Gavin Harrington. So if you know anybody that can throw on some catcher's gear and catch, call Ryan Eberly. Bases juice, 2 down. Got to be there for Janes. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one, a big swing and a miss, a huge rip from Braden Olson. And Landon Janes has a real chance of getting out of this one. Count full, 2 down. Bases juiced in what's been a long first inning for the Mustangs. 1 run already across for the Athletics. Here's a chance to get out of it for Janes. 3-2 pitch. That one's in there. Strike 3 looking. And Landon Janes gets out of it. We will go to the bottom of the first inning. 2 up for the Mustangs. It's 1-2-3 whenever we come back here in St. Joseph. back here in Phil Welch as we get ready for the bottom of the first inning. The A's out to an early 1-0 lead. But the pitcher for the Mustangs was able to get out of a bases-loaded jam, only allowing one run. As leading off for the Mustangs, it will be Chris Coy. He'll bat from the right side of the batter's box. I will also say, if we do disconnect, just know I will be right back. And 2 shakes of a dog's tail, as that one's going to be outside. Ball 1 from the starter tonight, Jack Oler. Oler from Northwest Missouri State University. Here facing the Mustangs tonight for the A's. A big swing and a miss on the outside half of the plate from Chris Coy. Coy, the shortstop tonight, usually the leadoff batter for the Mustangs. He had the night off last night, as the game before he pitched a ton, was kind of gassed, needed a much-needed day off. He got that last night. So tonight he's back in the lineup at his usual position, looking to get something started here for the Mustangs, who were shut out last night. Pitch from Oler, big swing and a miss. Once again, that outside pitch working well for Jack Oler on the mound. 2-2, count all evened up. A's looking for a quick inning here in the first. Chris Coy, the UNO product, and he'll take a swing and a miss, and he will strike out swinging, as Jack Oler will collect the first out of the game by way of the K. So now bring in Seth Winkler. He's the second baseman tonight, normally this high up in the lineup. Winkler's had a solid year for them so far. We'll see if he can't get something started against Oler. That first pitch is going to be just outside for ball 1. Nice pitch, though, from Oler, as he'll fire in the 1-0. That one fouled off to the right side. Count even at 1 apiece. Again, we thank you for joining the stream tonight, supporting your Clarinda Athletics, as they look to try and capture their 17th win of the season tonight. It's been a historical start to the year for the A's, but obviously it's not how you start, it's how you finish, as that one's going to be slapped towards left field. That'll be the first base hit that we see in this one, and it comes by way of Seth Winkler. That one fell in right in front of the left fielder, Grant Locken. It'll be a runner on with one down for Frank Gall. Frank Gall, also the Northwest Missouri State product. He's going against his teammate and Jack Oler on the mound. You know there's got to be a little extra there for each of these guys. They know each other well. We'll see who gets the best of each other. Gall's been in a little bit of a slump, striking out a lot recently. The first pitch he sees from Oler is in there for strike 1. Gall, the longtime St. Joe Mustang. He's a fan favorite here at Phil Welch. This will be his final season that he plays. His last year of eligibility, that one high and way outside by Oler. Great job by Braden Olson to get out and snag that one from going to the backstop. A big-time holy cow from one of the fans here at Phil Welch. That was actually pretty funny. So 1-1, count evened up. Winkler leads off of first. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one a big swing and a miss. High and tight fastball to Frank Gall. Now Gall down 1-2 in the count. Frank trying to come out on top of his teammate Jack Oler on the mound. Teammates in spring, foes in summer. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Oler. That one pops straight up, back towards the booth. That will land on top of the netting. And the netting will claim yet another ball. Not sure if you can see it there on the bottom left of your screen, where the netting goes up and meets the straight vertical netting. A couple of baseballs there already. They need like a big stick and assign it to a fan so they can pop those balls out. Nonetheless, 1-2 pitch from Oler. That one swung on and slapped towards left field. Under it is Grant Locken. He will make the grab and throw it in for the inning's second out. So Winkler will go back towards first, and that will bring in the 4-hole hitter for the Mustangs tonight. It's Jaden Little, the first baseman this evening. He's got a little bit of Queen playing for his walk-up song. You gotta love that. I'm a big-time older music guy. His first pitch from Oler is fouled off towards the right side. I may only be 21. I'm going to be 22 here soon, but I like the older music. 70s, 80s, 90s. Really like all music, but guess that doesn't matter here. This is baseball. And the pitch will go to first. They've got Winkler in a rundown, and it will throw back towards the shortstop. Bazemore missed him. Throw towards second. They're going to say he's safe. What an amazing play by Seth Winkler. How in the world did he wiggle out of that? Oler threw towards first. He got the runner caught in a rundown between Petrie and Bazemore. Petrie threw it down towards Bazemore. Bazemore did not get the glove on him for the tag. Great evasion by Winkler as he also beat the tag at second from Baumgart. So 0-1 is the count. Oler's got to focus on the batter at the plate, and he throws strike two. So runner advances on to second. As now the first runner is in scoring position of the game for the Mustangs, but it's 0-2 to the batter at the plate and Jaden Little. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one's on the outside half, ball one. Just a little bit outside. Good pitch nonetheless, trying to get Little to chase, unsuccessful there. 1-2 the count, now to Little. Oler will come set. Kick and fire. That one swung on, line towards the second baseman Baumgart. He'll make the play for the inning's final out. As we go to the top of two, the Athletics on top, 1-0. Back in St. Joe this evening for some Friday night baseball. Mustangs and Athletics. The rivalry renewed for the third time this week. The A's, victors of the first two matchups. They will try to take this week's series sweep tonight. So leading off for the A's, it will be Oscar Uhas. He will bat lefty against the righty pitcher on the mound, Landon Janes. Janes struggled back in the first, and bases loaded, nobody out, but he only allowed one run to score. So a nice job keeping the A's at bay as he throws ball one to Uhas. Oscar trying to start it the right way here in the second inning for the Athletics. That pitch is going to be just high, ball two. So 2-0 the count. Now to the batter, Juhas. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be just low. Ball 3, 3-0 now. Quickly behind is Janes. I might have it wrong. No, the scoreboard operator has it wrong. Finally, I have one right here. It is 3-0 the count. Janes will ready. Kick and fire. That one's going to be high. It's another 4-pitch walk for Landon Janes. That will put the leadoff batter of the second inning, Juhas, on first. So now it'll be the 9-hole hitter, his counterpart in left field, Grant Lock-in. Lock-in been a little bit of an energy drink there at the bottom of the lineup for the A's. He's done very, very well as of recent, getting on base. We'll see what he can do here. With the top of the lineup due up right after him, that one's going to be low and inside. Ball 1. So 5 straight balls now for Landon Janes on the mound. 1-0 our score. Although 1-0 is the opposite way in the hits column. Athletics do not have a hit. They've only walked and been hit by pitches. That one is going to be in there for strike 1. 1-1 now the count. Janes finally gets one there. See what he can do in a 1-1 count against Lock-in. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be in there. Nice pitch. 1-2 now the count. Runner on first is Oscar Juhas. He's got some speed. See what he wants to do here. I wouldn't be too aggressive with all the walks and hit by pitches so far in this one. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one a little half swing. He went around, and it's another strikeout for Landon Janes. That claims the first out of the second inning for the Mustangs. Mustangs wearing their nice black jerseys with red text across the front that says STJ, the abbreviation for St. Joe. I really do like their jerseys. Athletics wearing their classic red with the blue sleeves and all blue pants. Athletics in script font on the front of the jersey as that one's ball outside to Sean Baswell. This is the second at bat. He was plunked on the very first pitch his last time up. And we thank you for joining the stream. You know anybody that might be looking for coverage of this game, you found it here on the Clarinda A's YouTube. 1-0 pitch. That one's just inside to Basmore. 2-1 now the count. Excuse me, 2-0. Sometimes I say things that I don't mean. I don't really realize it comes out of my mouth. That's exactly what happened there. 2-0 the count against Basmore. Juhas on first. Pitch to Sean. That one's going to be in there for strike 1. Nice pitch there from Landon Janes. Around the Mink League, some other games going on. The Nevada Griffins are leading the North Missouri Natties 4-2 there in Nevada, as that pitch is going to be chopped towards the pitcher, Janes. He will jog and underhand throw to his first baseman, Little. Runner will advance to second, but 2 down here in the second. And then the Kansas City Monarchs are facing off against the Chillicothe Mudcats. That one's in the top of the third in Chile. 0-0 the score of that one. Live stats I'm not seeing on the Mink League website as of yet. Not sure what's going on there. I have no update to provide. I'm not affiliated with the Mink League website whatsoever, unfortunately. So now it'll be Andrew Young with a runner in scoring position at second and Oscar Juhas, but 2 down here in the top of 2. 1-0 to lead for the A's. Here's the first pitch from Janes. That one, a big swing and a miss by Andrew Young. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Janes. The little half swing. He went around 0-2 quickly against Andrew Young. Young, the Missouri Southern product. He saw quite a bit of action in his first season as a freshman down in Joplin. Athletic side of the crowd getting into the hand clapping, trying to cheer on their ace here in St. Joe. Here's the 0-2 pitch from James. That one swung on. It'll be popped towards left center field. Under it is the center fielder, Kobachevsky, and he will make the grab. So a runner gets on for the A's, does not do any damage against the Mustangs. We'll go to the bottom of 2. Our score still 1-0. Back here with more in just a moment. Back here in Phil Welch as we get ready for the bottom of the second inning. Athletics up 1-0 against the Mustangs. We thank you for joining us this evening. Once again, my name is Seth Morey. I'm taking you through the call of this one and everyone throughout the season for the A's. It'll be Micah Kobachevsky to start it off for the Athletics. He'll be batting from the left-handed side of the batter's box against the lefty on the mound, Jack Oler. Oler had a nice start back in the first. We'll see if he can follow that up once again here in the second. First pitch to Kobachevsky. That one's just low and inside for ball 1. This stream powered by KMA Sports. Without them, we would not be able to bring you these games in such a fashion that we do. The scoreboard graphic and logos and starting lineups and everything we're able to provide is all at the caveat of them. It's just my know-how and, I guess you could call it know-how to run the stream, as the 2-0 is going to be dribbled in front of the mound. Oler will gather and underhand toss it to first for the inning's first out. So one down here for the Mustangs in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up the 6-hole batter and starting catcher tonight for St. Joesph, Zach Kraft. So Kraft will see his first pitch from Oler. That one's a little off-speed pitch just outside for ball 1. That one's in there. 1-1 now the count. That one's going to be low. Nice job to get a piece of that one by Zach Kraft. So now quickly a 1-2 count. Oler trying to work through the Mustangs as quickly as he can. One down here, Athletics up 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one swung on. It'll be fouled off towards the right. Staying alive is Kraft. Zach, the 6-hole hitter tonight. He's behind the plate this evening. He's in place of Boston Bruce, usually behind the plate. He gets the night off tonight. Not sure if that's associated with all the balls that have hit the backstop these past few games. We like to think that it's just a night off for Boston Bruce, for him to rest up and get ready for the weekend. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Oler. That one's going to be just low. Ball 2, count now evened up. The A's an impressive 16-2 so far this season. They've been playing some of the best baseball that they have in recent years. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's going to be swung on and smacked towards right field. That's going to almost be by the right fielder, Oscar Uhas. He makes a tremendous grab, running straight backwards towards his right, towards that right center field gap for the inning's second out. Man, he saved a double or more from Zach Kraft. Way to take away a hit there in right. So that'll bring in Tyler Gundelfinger, the third baseman this evening. This will be his first at-bat against Jack Oler. Oler trying to keep it rocking and rolling on the mound. He's got a chance to go 1-2-3 here in the second, as that one's in there for strike one. That was an excellent pitch there from Oler. That off-speed bender there on the outside half of the plate working well for him tonight, and he's just done it again. 0-2 now the count. Quickly here against Gundelfinger. We'll see if third time is the charm. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one's just low for ball 1. 1-2 now against Gundelfinger. Third matchup between the Mustangs and the A's this evening. Athletics took the first two games, and they lead it here in game number 3 as that one's fouled off. 1-2, the count will remain. A's won on Monday in Clarinda against the Mustangs. 3-2, a great pitcher's duel in that one. And then last night, the 10-0 dominant victory ended in 7 innings due to the run rule. Here's the 1-2 pitch again by Oler. That one's lined right back up the middle. It'll be another base hit for the Mustangs. They've got a couple hits in this one. And Gundelfinger will stand on first with a 2-out single. So now it'll be the 8-hole batter and the designated hitter, Charles Stevens. Lefty-lefty matchup here with the runner on first and Gundelfinger. Oler at the belt. He'll kick and fire. That first pitch, a big swing and a miss by Charles Stevens. Stevens saw him in right field last night, and then in the Monday game against Clarinda, we saw him at the designated hitter position. He often switches back and forth. 0-1 pitch. That one swung on. It'll be popped up towards the shallow left side to the third baseman, Bradshaw. He makes the grab for the inning's final out. We will go to the top of the third. Our score remains 1-0 in favor of Clarinda. Back here at Phil Welch in just a moment. Back here in St. Joe, it's a 1-0 game in favor of the Athletics. A little YMCA between innings here. Hey, I'll do it with him. Who doesn't love doing the YMCA? If you don't like doing the YMCA, I'm afraid that we might not be able to be friends anymore. I'm just kidding, of course. As this game continues here in the top of the third, Kraft will throw down towards second. And that will be the signal for Cole Baumgart to step into the right-handed side of the batter's box and face the pitcher on the mound, and Landon Janes. Athletics had the bases juiced and nobody down back in the first inning. They were only able to get one run out of it, as that run was walked in by the pitcher, Landon Janes. See what Baumgart can do here to start off the third. That one high and inside, 1-0 now the count. If you were sitting there during the break and you said, Seth, I think you have the hit column wrong. The A's have one run but no hits. That would be the correct scoring line. No hits for the A's. But the run came back in the first inning, and that walked in, bases loaded situation. It went hit by pitch, walk, hit by pitch, walk. Back in the first for the first four batters that scored the first run, and that one's going to be a big swing and a miss by Cole Baumgart. Baumgart and the A's have been red hot tonight. See if they can continue that. 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled off towards the right side. A's an excellent season, 16-2. St. Joseph Mustangs struggling just a little bit, just after the halfway point in the season. Nothing to fret, as we know what St. Joe can do. They're 10-9, though, on the season. 2-2 count, all evened up to Cole Baumgart. Here's the pitch from Janes. A big swing and a miss from Baumgart. It's another strikeout for Janes. And the first out of the top of the third inning. So bring in the designated hitter tonight, Parker McNeil. Lefty-righty matchup here. We'll see what he can do. Fresh count against Janes. His first time up, he walked to bring in the run from third in Bazemore. First pitch, that one's low and inside for ball one. Our first away game that we're covering this season. We thank you all for joining us. Every view, every like, every share, every subscription helps support your Clarinda athletics. That pitch is going to be just high and outside. 2-0 now the count. Just one down here to start the top of the third. It was by way of the K of Cole Baumgart. As Janes looking for quick innings here after a lengthy first. Let up one. Here's the 2-0 pitch to McNeil. That one's going to be in there for a strike one. Nice pitch there on the bottom outside corner by Janes. Got a chance to talk to McNeil before this one in the dugout while I was waiting on some lineup cards to be generated for me. He said that they're just excited to be playing baseball. I kind of talked to him about this big win, win column, having one of the top records in the Mink League, where they stand atop the rankings. He said nothing but just excited to play baseball. Gotta love that. Somebody that just loves the sport. Every day he gets to play, and he'll take a walk here. Issued by Landon Janes. So runner on first with one down. Petrie will stand in. He is the first baseman tonight. Last night it was Petrie designated hitting and McNeil at first. They flip-flop them tonight. So Petrie doing the work in the field this evening. McNeil will get his lead off of first. Petrie will get his second chance here at Janes. He struck out swinging his first time up. That one swung on and slapped towards the gap in left center. It's going to get down into the gap and bounce up against the wall. McNeil screaming around second. Eberle's going to give him the sign at third. He'll come home to score. It's an RBI double for John Petrie, and the Athletics extend their lead 2-0 here at Phil Welch. That ball was absolutely ripped down in the left center gap behind the center fielder, Micah Kobashevsky. I wasn't sure how much zip that ball had on it from my view, but once I looked at Kobashevsky, he was just straight turned around and booking it. He knew there was no chance he could get to that ball in time to make a grab. So that'll bring in Evan Bradshaw now with a runner at second and Petrie, and just one down here in the third. First pitch from Janes is fouled off towards the right side. Athletics' first hit of the evening comes by way of the John Petrie RBI double. Kid's a doubles machine. I feel like anytime he knocks in a run, it's always by way of the double. Obviously, not any official stats on that. That's just one of those, Seth, I feel like. 0-1 pitch to Bradshaw. That one's high. 1-1 now the count. Athletics have done an excellent job each night that they've come out. Feels like against any opponent to get to that starting pitcher early. That's exactly what they've done here. Just a 2-0 lead. Obviously a lot of baseball left, but they've made Janes throw a lot of pitches here as that one's going to be low and outside. Ball 2, 2-1 now the count here against Bradshaw. Petrie was not waiting around for anybody. As quickly in that at-bat, he knocked in an RBI double. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Janes. That one's going to be high and inside. They'll call it strike 2. Count all evened up. One interesting thing is they play the cash register, the classic cha-ching sound that you hear. Normally for a strikeout, this time it's every strike here at Phil Welch. You got to love the sound effects. A little extra on the sound effects here. Nothing wrong with that. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Bradshaw. That one's low and in the dirt. Count now full. Another full count issued here by Janes. That's not good for preserving his pitch count. Count filled up. Janes against Bradshaw. Runner on second is Petrie. The pitch, that one swung on and fouled off deep towards the right side. Takes a hop on the pavement, and the kids will try and climb over the wall out in right. We do not condone that. This kid, wow, he just scaled probably a 10-foot wall. That's actually insanely impressive. I couldn't do that on stilts. So nice little baseball there for a fan. I know that the A's in Clarinda, if a fan gets a foul ball, they get a menu item of their choice at the concession stand. Not sure what it would be here. Unfamiliar with this ballpark as that one's high and outside, and another walk issued by Landon Janes on the mound. Runners on first and second with just one down. That'll bring in the catcher, Braden Olson. And the catcher for the Mustangs, Zach Kraft, will trot out towards the mound and speak with his pitcher for a moment. The A's, one of the more impressive baseball teams that I've seen in recent years. Now, obviously, you would say, oh, well, the St. Louis Cardinals are way better than the Clarinda A's. Well, obviously, in terms of relative competition and league play, I would say within their level, they are one of the better teams that I've seen around. They could definitely give some D2 colleges a run for their money. I know that. As now the pitcher, Janes, will go over and wipe off his arms. He's got a little bit of a rag there. Maybe getting a little bit sweaty. He'll come back up to the mound after getting his hands all dried up. Home plate umpire will break up the meeting, and back towards home they will head. So runners on first and second, just one down, already one across from the John Petrie RBI double. It'll be Braden Olson with an opportunity to score the game's third run for the A's. A's have done a great job these past few games, getting ahead early and staying that way. Hardly any wind tonight. American flag out in center. It's not hardly blowing as that one's tapped foul towards the left side. It's the way these past few nights have been. Very, very little wind here in the Midwest. If anything, it's blowing in just a little bit, which helps here in the booth. Keep me cooled down. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That one's just high for ball one. 1-1 the count. Here to Olson. Couple runners on. Great opportunity for the Athletics. Here's the 1-1 pitch from James. That one a nice off-speed bender. And they're at the top of the zone for strike two. So 1-2 here against Olson. He struck out his first time up. He had a huge swing and a miss and a 3-2 count. He's a guy that tends to try and swing for the fences. We'll see what he does here. 1-2 pitch. That one swung on and chopped towards the left side. Grabbed by the third baseman Gundelfinger, and it will be a foul ball. That one looked pretty close, but 1-2 the count will remain. The A's lost just their second game this season this week to the Carroll Merchants. The A's are 1-2 so far this year to the Merchants. The only team that they've lost to. It was a 13-inning duel just a couple nights ago in Carroll that the A's lost, blowing a big lead late as that one's inside and fouled off towards the left side of foul territory near the A's dugout. First road game here. We're glad to be at Phil Welch. We want to thank all the staff members and Kai Turner, the owner of the team. Been very generous. We've got our own booth here. Very nice facilities here at Phil Welch. 1-2 the count. Couple runners on. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be just low and outside. Nice job by Olson to hold up his swing. So 2-2 count, all evened up. Runner at second is Petrie. Runner at first is Bradshaw. Already one across on the RBI double from Petrie. He remains at second, though, since he knocked in the run from first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's low and inside. Nice job by Olson. He's worked it back full. Again, we do want to put out, if you have anybody, your family, friends, that can put on catcher's gear, can catch well, we'll have them contact Ryan Eberly, as Olson is the only catcher on the roster. As that 3-2 pitch is fouled off towards the right side. We'll do it again. Gavin Harrington and Braden Olson were the two catchers on the roster to start the season for the Athletics, but Gavin Harrington tore his ACL on a practice throw down towards second during a game, and he is no longer with the team. He's still on the roster, just not playing anymore this season. 3-2 the count, a couple runners on, just one down here in the bottom of three. Excuse me, the top of three. That one's inside for ball four. So bases juiced, just one down here for the A's. Cannot express how long that the first and now third inning has been for the pitcher on the mound, Landon James. So now we will have another mound visit. This is the third time that we've seen the Mustangs talk with their starter on the mound. They will try and get some things figured out, and looks like that will be the end of the road for Landon James. So whenever we come back here in St. Joe, it'll be bases juiced with just one down for the Athletics, and at the plate it'll be the 8-hole batter, Oscar Uhas. We'll see who they bring in. We'll announce all that whenever we come back in just a moment. It'll be Oscar Uhas ready to bat against the new pitcher in the game for the Mustangs. It'll be Bryson Augustin. Augustin, the big righty out of Hutchinson Community College, and he will fire in strike one. The first pitch to Uhas. Uhas up with the bases juiced and just one down. Second time, the Athletics have had the bases loaded. That one's a chopper to Coy at second. He'll take it to second himself. Throw towards first is a little bit of a bouncer, but his first baseman, Jaden Little, picks him up. And that will be an inning-ending double play on just the second pitch that Augustin had to throw to Uhas. So we went away for a break, and we'll go right back to another break here in St. Joe. Whenever we come back, we'll have the bottom of the third inning and the Mustangs bat on tap. Back here in St. Joseph. I keep almost saying Clarinda, used to being in Iowa. This time we're in Missouri, here near downtown St. Joseph at Phil Welch Stadium. Leading off the bottom of the third inning for the Mustangs, it's the left fielder, Carter Belton. He's in the 9 hole tonight, and he will see ball one from Jack Oler. Oler, the starter tonight. He's had a very clean first couple of innings, but obviously, it's not just the first time through the order you got to worry about. It's that second and third time. Can you keep throwing the laces? As that ball will also fall victim of the net. And 1-1 will be our count. Pitch from Oler. That one's just high for ball two. Petrie, the first baseman, playing hard in towards the first base line. Meanwhile, Bazmore on the left side, he's playing just a little bit further from it than Petrie is. That one's high and outside. 3-1 now, quickly against Carter Belton. The 9-hole hitter, Belton, not the guy you want to work around if you're the pitcher on the mound in Jack Oler. See what he does here. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That one's going to be in there on the outside half for a strike two. Big pitch there from Oler. Count now filled up against Carter Belton. Would imagine a challenge pitch is going to come here. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and fouled off straight back towards the netting. Staying alive is Belton. Nice job by him. The high heater was not fooling him, at least not too much. Was able to snag a piece of that one. Beautiful night here in St. Joe. Little overcast, 72 degrees. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss from Carter Belton. Nice job by Jack Oler to come back in the count. He had him down 3-1. Came back with a couple of strikes to sit down Belton by way of the K. So now it's the UNO product. Chris Coy, he'll take his cuts in his second AB against Oler. He's 0 for 1 so far tonight. First pitch he sees is just a bit outside. Sorry, folks, I had to do it. A very loud holy cow from the crowd. Actually, I can't tell if that's the crowd or if that's the soundboard that they've got hooked up. Regardless, 1-0 the pitch turns into 2-0. Would imagine that an off-speed curveball, something funky that Oler was trying to throw, got away from him a little bit. It is a little bit foggy, was misting just before the game. Ball might be a little bit wet as that one's outside. 3-0 now the count. We saw the original starter for the Mustangs, Landon Janes. He had to take a mound visit back in the top of the third as that one's going to be in there for strike one. And he had to wipe down his hands and try to get them a little bit dry as the water's getting to the baseball just a little bit. Although the rain is staying off, still the effects of the rain from earlier today present in this one. That one's in there. Strike two. Coy was jogging away like he had it, and he'll have to come back in. So count now filled up. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one swung on and fouled off back towards the right side. Staying alive. Nice job there by Coy. Coy usually in the leadoff spot. He had last night off in Clarinda. He pitched a bunch the game before. He's back in action tonight. Now he's in a 3-2 count. Pitch from Oler. That one swung on, fouled off once again. Gotta love what you're seeing from Jack Oler so far tonight. He's not working around anybody, challenging every batter he faces. So still full count here. Coy trying to fend off Jack Oler and get on base. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and popped up towards the right side. We'll do it again. Oler's been able to keep his pitch count fairly low in this one. Now Coy challenging that. Count still filled. 3 straight foul balls from Coy. Here's the pitch. That one swung on, fouled off towards that same spot to the right side. Unbelievable. The group of kids out there on the concourse towards the right, they are enjoying their time, that's for sure. A lot of baseballs coming their way. Count full. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one swung on and crushed towards left field. That's going to be over the head of the left fielder, Grant Locken. It bounces off the wall. He fires it in towards second. Cut off by Bazemore. It's a stand-up double for Chris Coy. Great piece of hitting. That's what some would call a perfect if you're familiar with MLB The Show, the video game. Of course, that's just me being the younger generation. One down here, though, with a runner on second, thanks to the one-out double towards left by Chris Coy. So now Seth Winkler will stand in after the third hit of the game for the Mustangs. He's already got a hit for tonight. He's 1 for 1 with a single towards left, as that one's going to be high and outside for ball one. Oler often going to that off speed there. Usually ends up high and outside. That one, the first pitch against Coy, went clear to the backstop. No chance for Olsen to even catch it. He's not exactly getting that one to fall tonight. 1-0 pitch to tonight's second baseman. That one's fouled straight backward. 1-1, count now evened up. Beautiful night for baseball here at Phil Welch. If you're in the area, stop by and watch a classic rivalry renewed between the A's and the Mustangs. It's almost always a good one whenever these two teams square off. Runner on second and Coy. He hops around a bit as Oler deals the 1-1. That one's high and outside. Ball two. 2-1 the count now to Winkler. He's 1 for 1 already today. If he could go 2 for 2, the Mustangs would have their first run. Oler comes set, kicks and fires. That one swung on and slapped towards center field. Going back straight towards the batter's eye is the center fielder, Andrew Young. He makes the grab. He'll throw it in towards second base. Baumgart will snag it there. Coy advances to third. And there's 2 down now here in the bottom of 3. So now it'll be Frank Gall. We'll see what he can do. Product out of Northwest. He's got a runner on third with 2 down here in his final season for the Mustangs. He's been in just a little bit of a slump. We'll see if he can come out of it as that one slapped deep towards right field. It's a short porch, but it's going to hang up near the warning trap. And Oscar Uhas will make the grab. So no damage done besides the one out double by Chris Coy to left. Does not hurt the Athletics. We will go to the top of the 4th inning. Our score still in favor of Clarinda. Back here. Fourth inning ready to get underway here in St. Joe. Still almost saying Clarinda, just so used to it. That's okay. They'll all lock in here with Grant Lock-in at the plate. Here's the first pitch he will see from the relief pitcher, Bryson Augustin. Strike one fouled off. The A's scored 1 run back in the first and then back as well in the third as that one's high inside. Almost got a piece of Lock-in. He gets out of the way for ball 1. Can close the book on Landon Janes, the starter. He went 2 1/3, and that's all the time that he could get. That pitch is going to be swung on and slapped back, right back up the middle. It'll be a base hit for Grant Lock-in, and the Athletics have started off the 4th inning on the right foot. So now it'll be Bazemore, the leadoff hitter for the Athletics. Man, he was red hot last night. A couple RBIs and 3 for 4 against the Mustangs last evening in Clarinda. We'll see what he can do here. Righty-righty matchup against Bazemore. He's got a runner on first in Lock-in with nobody down. That first pitch is going to be in there for strike 1. I do apologize. I did not have the scoreboard on. Realized that too late. My mind gets sidetracked into other places. 0-1 pitch. That one's inside. It gets away from the catcher, but it'll say it clipped a piece of Sean Bazemore. So now runners on first and second to start the 4th inning. That's the second time Bazemore has been hit. Not nearly as bad as the first time. It was the very first pitch of the game. They hit Bazemore high and in the shoulder. Not fun. That one a little bit easier with the elbow guard. Just clipped off of that. Now runners on first and second for the 2-hole hitter, Andrew Young. Here's the pitch he sees from Augustin. That one's in there for strike 1. Again, back in the first inning, the Mustangs dugout already issued a warning. They've had several troubles. I'm not sure if it's been all season, but at least against the Athletics, as that one's going to be a little dribbler into no man's land in the right side of the infield. It'll be an infield hit for Andrew Young. A's, bases juiced, nobody out. If there was a time to be watching the stream, it's right now. Call your family, call your loved ones, call your best friends. We got bases juiced, nobody out. So enter Cole Baumgart, the Clarinda High School product. Now playing for DMAC. If you don't know what that is, Des Moines Area Community College up in central Iowa. His second year with the A's. Big opportunity here. It's a little tapper towards the left side. Nice job by Gundelfinger to snag that one foul. So it will be strike one against the batter Baumgart. Great baseball IQ play by the third baseman Tyler Gundelfinger. Let that one roll foul before picking it up. He would have picked it up in fair territory. He would have had to fire towards first. Now, if you're not sure about a lot of baseball strategy, you definitely don't want to do that. Yeah, you might get the run at first, but you also would allow the run to score at home. You want to minimize runs if you can. 0-1 pitch to Baumgart. That one swung on and sliced towards right field. Gall going back. He's fielding for the wall. That one's going to get down off the wall. So the run from third will score. Bases will remain loaded with nobody down on an RBI single from Cole Baumgart. So 3-0 our score here early in favor of the Athletics. What a start for the A's. I'll tell you what, if they could have known that that ball was going to get down, obviously all the runners on base were playing safe as if it was going to get caught. It looked like it might have been caught, but Gall was not able to get to it as it went off the wall in right. Short porch over there, just 307 to the right field foul pole. So now for the A's is taking strike one is the four-hole batter for the Athletics this evening. It's Parker McNeil, the designated hitter. Bases juice, nobody out for him. That pitch swung on and fouled off towards the left side. 0-2 now quickly against McNeil. Exactly what Bryson Augustin needs on the mound now. Oh, 2 pitch. That one's in there. Strike three looking. It's a huge strikeout from Bryson Augustin. That can now set up the double play to end the inning and get out of this jam. But he's got to get past John Petrie. Petrie's been hot as of recent. He's already got an RBI double here in this one. He hit that back in the third. Here's the first pitch he sees from Augustin. That one's in there in the bottom left corner for strike one. 0-1 the count against Petrie. Pitch from Augustin. That one's low and outside. Ball one. 1-1 count evened up. Athletics now 4 hits on the board and 3 runs to show for it. Here's the pitch from Augustin. That one's going to be low. 2-1 the count. Petrie, he's the first baseman this evening. He flips between first base and designated hitting a lot with Parker McNeil, the man who just struck out. 2-1, patient hitter at the plate. And Petrie. Here's the pitch from Augustin. That one's going to be in there for strike two. Nice pitch by Bryson. Getting it together here on the mound. He's given up 1 in this inning so far. Base is still loaded. With only 1 down. 2-2 pitch. That one a big swing and a miss by John Petrie. And now there's 2 down with the bases juiced. Now the A's are going to need a huge at-bat here from Evan Bradshaw to be able to score any more with 2 down and the bases loaded. I will say one thing is that any time that I've been calling a game where the A's have the bases loaded, they've never really been able to clear them yet. They've gotten in 1, maybe 2 runs, but trying to get that bases clearing hit has eluded them thus far. So that first pitch is low and outside to Evan Bradshaw. Bradshaw can definitely do that. He's got some nice power, but you're more looking for a guy like this to rope one into the gap. Well, really just a base hit is what you're looking for. 1-0 pitch. That one's high and outside. 2-0 now the count. Again, we thank you for joining us this evening from Phil Welch Stadium. Glad to be granted permission. Be up here in the guest booth to bring you guys coverage. That 2-0 is going to be slapped towards the right side, towards the the second baseman Winkler. He will make the routine play to first. And the Mustangs get out of the bases loaded, nobody out jam with once again only 1 run allowed they've done an excellent job getting out of that situation tonight. Just a 3-0 lead for the A's despite the opportunity. And the bats are coming up here in the bottom of the inning for the Mustangs. We'll see what they can do in the fourth whenever we come back. Back for the home half of the fourth here in St. Joe. Mustangs down 3-0. We do have a defensive substitution to announce. It'll be Andy Gill taking over at third for Evan Bradshaw. Gill and Bradshaw rotate between their opportunities at third often, so not a shocker there, as that first pitch will be slapped right back up the middle. It's a base hit for the leadoff batter of the inning, Jaden Little. That's exactly what the Mustangs need to try and get on track here and bring this score a little bit closer. So now it'll be Micah Kobashevsky. He'll have an opportunity with a runner on first and nobody down. Oler still on the mound. This is his fourth inning of work. Starting here tonight in Phil Welch against the Mustangs as he'll throw strike one in there to Kobashevsky. Micah, the Missouri Western product. He's an often starter for them, one of their top players, as that one's going to be high and inside. 1-1 now the count. Kobashevsky, the regular center fielder for the Griffins. Had the honor of watching him a few times this season at Northwest. 1-1 pitch from Oler. That one fouled off the end of the bat. Strike two. And we thank you for joining the stream. This broadcast powered by KMA Sports. Any technical difficulties that you might see that we experience are either my fault or the internet's fault. So do not blame them. Don't ever say, oh, KMA Sports, man, those guys, they don't know what they're doing. It's the complete opposite. All this great equipment by way of them and only them. 1-2 pitch by Oler. That one's going to get a piece of Kobashevsky. Man, that didn't just get a piece. That got all of Kobashevsky. And now it'll be runners on first and second. And a big-time jam here for the Athletics. So now Kobashevsky will take a long walk to first. As now that will bring up the 6-hole hitter, Zach Kraft, the catcher this evening. Beautiful night in St. Joe. 72 degrees, overcast skies, but that keeps the sun off of us. And we'll see what Oler's got with a couple of runners on first and second and nobody down. Mustangs trying to ignite a fire. First pitch from Oler. That one's going to be just high and outside for ball one. Oler just barely missed with that one there. He gets ready for the 1-0. Pitch from Oler to Kraft. That one's high and outside. 2-0 now the count. Athletics don't want to get in a jam and get behind to this team, as out there in the bullpen in left center. Some movement for the A's. Can't see the number from this distance, but I'm sure we'll see it once they get closer. 2-0 the count against Kraft. He's got runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and fouled straight back for strike one. On second, it's Jaden Little. On first, it's Micah Kopaszewski. Little had a base knock to start the inning. That's why he's at second. Kopaszewski is at first. So he was hit by a pitch. 2-1 the count to Kraft at the plate. Here's the pitch from Jack Oler. Now he's going to step off the mound and check on the runner at second. One other time that he's stepped off, though, he had Winkler in a rundown between first and second. Winkler did end up being safe on a missed tag by Basmore. But he's been successful so far. 2-1 pitch. They're going to say he went around for strike two. Just barely couldn't hold up his swing there. Kraft trying to do what he can. There is a ginormous beach ball out in center field behind the wall. I'm not sure if you folks saw that out in center field. It's one of the few things that, or I guess one of the many things that you'll see here at Phil Welch. You're never really going to know what you're going to see. That's what makes it interesting and fun. Count all evened up. 2-2 pitch from Oler. That one just high. 3-2 count now full. Great eye there from Zach Kraft. He's now in a full count. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous situation for the A's. Oler gets the sign from Olsen. He shakes him off a couple times. Now he likes it. He comes set. Here's the pitch. That one swung, fouled off towards the right side. We'll do it again. Again, we thank you for joining the stream tonight. A's and Mustangs, rivalry renewed for the third time this week. A's 2-0 so far this season against the Mustangs, as Zach Kraft will get a little bit more pine tar on his gloves. Make sure he keeps a hold of that stick. And we'll get ready to do the 3-2 again. Oler on the mound. He's got runners at first and second, and Kopaszewski and Little. Here's another try at the 3-2 pitch from Oler, and he's going to step off once again. Are they going to say that that's a balk? They will say that that is a balk. Or are they going to, I believe that they said pitch clock violation. Was that the call? We can't have a pitch clock here, can we? Umpire did point at the wrist as if it was a time-warranted issue. If it was a balk, the runners would advance, and Kraft would not have been put on first. So now it's bases juice, nobody out for Tyler Gundelfinger. I do know that the umpires can often count the pitch clock themselves. I've never really seen a violation. I'm not really sure what else it could be. Unless if I am completely missing something and you can balk and let the runner on first. Might be having a brain fart. That's always possible. So now it'll be Tyler Gundelfinger with the bases juiced and nobody down. Great opportunity for the Mustangs. If you're a fan of the Mustangs and you're in here, I'm not really sure what you're doing because the Mustangs are also streaming. But if you are, I appreciate you watching. And your team's got the bases juiced and nobody down. First pitch is a strike in there to Gundelfinger by Oler. Oh, 0-1 the count, bases juiced. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one's going to be in there for strike two on the inside half. Nice pitch. Gundelfinger will stand back in there at an 0-2 count. Big pitch coming here from Oler. That one swung on and looped towards right field. It's going to get down in front of the right fielder, Oscar Uhas. He'll snag it and throw it back in. 2 runs will score. The Mustangs draw within 1. That's going to get the fans on their feet. Still nobody out and runners on first and second. St. Joe finally able to get on the board here. Their first run scored in the past 10 innings. 11 innings. So that'll be the designated hitter, Charles Stevens. He's batting 8th tonight. He'll face Oler. Lefty, big swing, and a foul ball straight back. Oh and 1 is the count to Stevens. Couple runners on, nobody down. That one, the high bender, that's not been working for Oler tonight. That one misses. I'm sure head coach Ryan Eberle has got to be looking at his bullpen impatiently, hoping somebody can get warmed up. Oler seems to be running out of a little bit of gas. He's losing some of his stuff. So Oler will come set now. Fire the 1-1. That one swung on and fouled off towards the left side. So 1-2 now against Charles Stevens. He's the designated hitter this evening. Sometimes in right field, sometimes designated hitting. Today we had the 50-50 flip of DH. 1-2 the count here in the bottom of the fourth. Already a couple of runs across for the Mustangs. That one's fouled straight back. We'll do it again. Still that big beach ball out in center, just behind that fence. That's very intriguing to me. I'm not really sure why. Obviously, there are more pressing matters on the field. 1-2 pitch. That one swung on, tapped back up the middle. Baumgart's not able to make the play, and Bazmore's not going to be able to get the ball before the runner can tag up towards second, or advance towards second. It'll be an infield hit for Charles Stevens. Bases juiced. Still nobody down. Not the situation the A's want to be in, but they've got to find a way out. It looks like we almost had a mound visit from the A's dugout. Couldn't quite see who was going to come out. We do have a cap being waved towards the bullpen, trying to signal something to them, as if they want a pitcher to get ready. Nothing yet, as the 9-hole hitter Carter Belton will stand in. He'll foul off the first pitch he sees from Oler. Oler's pitched a nice game up to this point. He's in a bases-loaded jam. He's already allowed 2 across in the inning. That pitch is going to be just outside. It's an excellent throw there by Oler. Back here live from Phil Welch. Small error encountered on the stream. We're back, though, as that one's going to be just high, missing for ball 2. 2-1 now the count against Seth Winkler. You haven't missed anything. Just a few pitches, able to get it up quickly here. 2 down, bases juiced here for the Mustangs. 2-1 pitch, that one's just going to be low. 3-1 now the count. Can't walk around him now. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded. Oler got to try to come up in the clutch here. A's with their backs against the wall. Just a 1-run lead here in the fourth. Bases loaded. 3-1 pitch to Winkler. That one's going to be in there for strike 2. Every bit of a strike on that pitch, and of course, a lot of guff from the Mustangs fans. Used to that, though. As the count now works full. Here's the pitch from Oler. That one swung on, a high chopper towards short. Bazmore fires towards first. He's got the out. What a job by the pitcher, Jack Oler. As another firework goes off and right, and there were some on the mound, as Oler was able to get himself out of a big jam, even though he was gassed there in that inning. So the Mustangs only capitalized with the bases loaded, nobody out situation with 2 runs off of an RBI single to right by the 7-hole hitter, Tyler Gundelfinger. So we'll go to the top of the 5th inning. Athletics still in the lead, 3-2. Back with more from Phil Welch in just a moment. Kraft throws down towards second. That means the top of the 5th is on tap here in St. Joe. An outstanding job by the starter, Jack Oehler. You can close your books on him, as I'm sure he will be retired to start the bottom of 5. With 4 innings, only allowed 2 runs. Athletics still with their lead intact, 3-2 the score. They will get the beach ball rolled off the left side of the field. Then we will be ready to play here again from St. Joe. Pitch from Augustin. That one swung on and slapped towards Coy at short. He will jab it and make the throw towards first. A little bit low, but no problem for Jaden Little at first. 1 pitch, 1 out to start the inning for Bryson Augustin. He needed that. He allowed a run and the bases to be juiced last inning. Was able to work his way out of a jam. So now it'll be Oscar Uhas to stand in against Augustin. He'll watch strike 1 there on the outside half of the plate. Nice pitch there from Augustin. He's had some solid innings in relief. Only allowed that 1 run that he did last inning, as that one will be sliced towards left field. Coming in as the left fielder, and he's not going to be able to make a play. Belton did not have an opportunity. It's a little blooper towards shallow left field, and a base hit for Oscar Uhas. Now 5 hits on the night for the Athletics to the Mustangs 6. We've got a close one brewing here in St. Joseph. Thank you for joining the stream. Sticking loyal with me means a lot. Mustangs have a very nice live stream of their own, as that one's in there for strike 1 to Grant Locken, the 9-hole hitter. They have an excellent stream, excellent setup, a lot of really, really nice equipment. I'm just thankful to be here and be calling and get the opportunity, as that one's going to be just high and inside for ball 1. Here in St. Joe as we get set for the bottom of the 5th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Athletics. I've not been able to see his number, but right as I do, I will let everybody know. 21 is the number. We welcome you back here in St. Joe. We thank you for sticking with us through the issues, as Wyatt Doak is now on the mound. If you're wondering why the score has advanced, it was an Andy Gill infield hit towards the left side. The play was not able to be made by the third baseman, and the runners will advance there to second and third on the pass ball. It is now 6-3 in favor of the Athletics. Still nobody down, and it's a 1-1 count to Grant Locken. So Doak on the mound. He was the man that started the first of these 3 games we've played this week against the Mustangs. He had some troubles early on in that one with hitting the backstop, and he just did it there as that one's high. 2-1 now the count. Sorry, folks, still trying to get caught up. I can't possibly apologize enough for the issues that we've had. I strive to try and give you guys the best product that I can. I've definitely fallen short of that this season, as that one's going to be in there on the outside corner. Strike 2, 2-2 now the count. A's with a couple runners in scoring position, nobody out. Here's the pitch from Doak. That one swung on right back up the middle. Pitcher Doak makes the grab. He'll fire it high towards first. Runner safe. Bases juice, nobody out. Wyatt Doak with another error for the Mustangs. So bases loaded, nobody out for Doak. Now the umpires are going to have a conversation to see if they agree on the safe call at first. Coach for the Mustangs is out. I think he was appealing the call, wanting them to chat over it. It's never too bad to chat over it. They will agree with the call of safe. And now Johnny Coy will stand there and argue with the umpires. Bases juice, nobody down whenever we get done with this. First baseman now coming down, Jaden Little. He's trying to get involved with it, talking with the umpires. The Mustangs are big fans of hollering at the boys in blue, and they'll finally let him go here. Mustangs already have a warning to their dugout. They got that in the first inning, so no hesitation is going to be brought by the home plate umpire if needed. And it'll be the leadoff batter, Sean Bazemore, for the A's. Fresh count, 0-0. Nobody out. Doak on the mound, bases juiced. Here's the pitch to Bazemore. That one's in there. Strike 1. I thought maybe that one would just be outside. As always, I am usually incorrect. The umpire's a whole lot closer than I am. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Bazemore. That one swung on, chopped right back up the middle. Doak will throw it towards home. The play is almost messed up there, but it will be the force out at home. Bazemore will be safe at first. Base is still juiced with 1 down now. That will bring in Andrew Young. Boy, I don't know what it must just be a mental thing with Doak. I'm sure he's well capable to make those easy throws, but I think you biff it so many times that kind of just gets into your head just a little bit. I think that's where he's at. So now Andrew Young with a big opportunity. Bases loaded, corners in for the Mustangs as that one's high and outside. Nice snag there by Zach Kraft. Ball 1 to Young. A's have scored 3 here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Doak. That one's high. 2-0 now the count. Clarinda, the ultimate opportunists. They seem to make every single situation mean the most. 2-0 pitch. That one's in there for strike 1. Again, just 1 down. Sure, Doak would love a weak ground ball to his shortstop or his second baseman out there, Winkler and Coy, to try and turn 2 and get out of this. Corner still in. Middle infield playing deep. Here's the pitch. That one's just outside. Ball 3. Three, 1 the count. Can't pitch around him here. Pitch to Young. That one's high and outside, and our run's going to walk home. 7-3 is our score. The A's now advance their lead to 4 runs here in the 6th. Conversation behind the plate between Kraft and the home plate umpire. He'll jot some stuff down as Baumgart will step up, ready to rock and roll. We'll say it's a constructive conversation behind the plate. And a fresh count with just one down here, and the base is loaded in the sixth. That one a slow chopper to Coy. It takes a high, weird hop. Throw towards first is in time, but the eighth run scores. So the runners will be on second and third for Parker McNeil. The A's have now scored 5 runs here in the top of the sixth. What a turning point. A couple of errors in this inning by the Mustangs have warranted a lot of runs. First pitch to McNeil is high for ball 1. It's a glorious night for baseball here in St. Joe. 72 degrees, beautiful breeze. Pitch from Doak. That one swung on and fouled off hard near the A's dugout. It comes short of it and hits that brick wall. For strike 1. It's an intense game here at Phil Welch, where the A's have busted it wide open. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's high for ball 2. Two-one pitch from Doak. That one swung on other way, and it's going to be a base hit by Parker McNeil. They're going to send the runner from second home. He's going to score. The A's tack on a couple. Here in the sixth. 7-run sixth inning by the A's. 10-3 now our score. So runner at first is McNeil. And that is now the 9th hit of the game for the A's. So now it'll be John Petrie. Double digits once again for the A's. First pitch to him will be in there for strike 1. Great pitch there by Doak. Trying to get back on track here in the top of the sixth. That pitch is going to be just high and inside. Another nice one. Nice job laying off of that one by Petrie. Here's the pitch. That one a big swing and a miss by John Petrie. And he's down 1-2. We thank you for joining the live stream tonight, supporting your Clarinda Athletics. They're up 10-3. Pitch from Doak. That one swung on and slapped for the Mustangs. As we go to the home half of 6, the Athletics erupt for 7 runs in the top half of the inning. Our score 10-3 in favor of the A's. More from Phil Welch whenever we come back. Back here in St. Joe, and you might notice there is a massive piece of dice, or I guess a die as you would call it, on the netting. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that off. Super, super fun activities here at Phil Welch. They really have a lot of fan entertainment. You got to love that. And so we're going to see if anything happens to that. I think it's just going to chill out up there for a little bit. Just entering the bottom of the 6th inning here. I want to thank you for joining us once again as the A's erupted in the top of the inning for 7 runs. 10-3 our score now. Thank you for joining me. My name is Seth Morey, taking you through the call this one here in St. Joseph. It is a beautiful night for baseball, just a beautiful night in general. I'm not sure the weather in Clarinda, but if it's as nice as it is here, go outside, sit on your back porch, watch this game from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, or if you got a TV on the back porch, go for it. I don't know if I'll ever be in the financial situation to get a TV on my back porch, but I hope so someday, and I believe that this dice is just going to stay there as Olsen will throw down towards second. And we will start the bottom of the 6th inning. I'll tell you what, I've ran into a lot of issues while calling games throughout my short, fresh career. I've never ran into the situation of having a die block the view. So here we go. It'll be the third baseman, Tyler Gundelfinger, to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning as that one's in there. Low and outside for ball 1. The die is on number 5, by the way, so if your lucky number is 5, go buy a lottery ticket. That one's just high and outside. 2-0 is the count. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one is in there at the top half of the zone for strike 1. 2-1 now the count. Clarinda now up 10-3, threatening for their 17th win of the season. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Gundelfinger. That one's in there. 2-2 now the count. You got to love Phil Welch. You never know what you're going to run into. This time, it's a large piece of dice. I can't get over that as that pitch is going to be lined towards right field. It'll get down for a base hit in front of Joesph. So nice job taking that one the other way. Did not mean to hit the strikeout button. Instead, it happened. And a runner on first. Leadoff single by Gundelfinger. Mustangs have a long way to go if they want to come back into this one, but we're just in the bottom of the 6th. There's a lot of baseball to be played. This one was a 7 o'clock start time. We're 2.5 hours in. We're only in the 6th inning. We've had a lot of bases loaded situations on both sides. As now that one's going to be lined right back up the middle, stepping on second, throwing towards first. What a play by Sean Bazemore. The twin killing from the shortstop Bazemore just in time. It's a double play. Little heat there from the shortstop. Long time Clarinda A. And we've got 2 down here in the bottom of 6. Putting out any fire that the Mustangs might have had. He'll fire the arrow to his center fielder Andrew Young in celebration. And now it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Carter Belt. Absolute treat of a play there. So now a fresh count here and 2 down as that first pitch is going to be just high for ball 1. Well, thank everybody for joining tonight's stream, sticking with me through the issues, through thick and through thin. Supporting your Clarinda A's. That 1-0 pitch is swung on and foul off towards the right side. That one's going to get out of play onto the concourse. Takes a high hop and up near the bathrooms. 1-1 now the count against Belton. Your likes, your subscriptions to the channel, and your views and interactions in the chat are all very big and supportive of your A's. We thank you for all the support that you've offered throughout the season. We hope see that continued, as that one's going to be a chopper towards Gill at third. It'll roll foul for strike number 2. So now we'll have a little bit more pine tar for Belton. Coy so generous with his pine tar there in the on-deck circle. Now Belton will stand back in to see the 1-2 pitch. Here's the 1-2 delivery. That one swung on an absolutely crushed foul towards the left side. And more fireworks going off in right field. I'm not really sure what's up with that. So the foul ball, long foul ball there by Belton, keeps our count at 1-2. I think it's just beyond the outfield wall and right. Initially, I thought it was behind the timber out and right, but now I think it's a lot closer because I saw smoke earlier coming from behind the outfield wall. I'm not really sure why, but that one's going to be just inside for ball 2. I don't know why they would be having fireworks in the middle of the play. Would say it's incidental. It's happened a lot. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm sure they'll figure it out soon. 2-2 pitch. Wind picks up back towards home. Here's the pitch. That one's in there. Strike 3 looking. Another strikeout that will end the 6th inning. As we go to the top of 7, the Athletics dominating the Mustangs 10-3 and on their way to a possible 17th victory of the season. Back with more from Phil Welch here in just a moment. Back here in St. Joseph, the fan activities are heating up. A little bit of a T-shirt toss. The first base side has won the sing-off challenge, and they're going to get some T-shirts. I mean, they got a T-shirt cannon. They don't have a lot of range to shoot it. Hopefully somebody doesn't get hit and hurt. I'm not really sure how much PSI a T-shirt cannon racks up to, but sure as heck enough for here. So it'll be Andy Gill against Wyatt Doak to start the top of the 7th inning. A big swing and a miss by Gill for strike 1. That's all right. They got the PSI cranked way down. Is it weird that I want a T-shirt cannon? I don't have any use for it, but it seems kind of fun as that one is in there for strike 2. Couple of nice pitches from Doak, and there's another huge firework. I would assume that that's not associated with the Mustangs, even though it kind of looked like there was one that might have gone off closer. I'm not sure. I think I'm losing my mind as that one's a big swing and a miss by Gill. Gill subbed in for Evan Bradshaw. He was 0 for 2 on the night. Gill now at third base. It's not uncommon to see those two flip-flop mid-game. Trying to split up the reps as much as they can. It is Summer League baseball after all. As that one's high and inside for ball 1. Entire point of Summer League is get some college kids, whether they're community college, Division I, The Athletics and Mustangs alike have all players from different levels, just for them to get some summer reps, as the season is now over for them and it ends in the spring, and that at-bat is over for Andy Gill. It's a strikeout for the Mustangs. And folks, I'm just now realizing why the animation for strikeout and home run is saying the wrong teams. I did not switch which team is the home team and the away team. I just kept it the same. Now I'm thinking twice on that, as that first pitch is going to be just high to Olson. Home plate umpire, that one might have gotten just a piece of him. We hope he's all right. He'll walk out. One, oh, the count. Now to Olson. Here's the pitch from Doak. That one's low for ball two. Two oh the count against Olson. Here's the pitch. That one's inside. I'm very surprised that didn't get a piece of Olson. It looked like it did. Luckily, he stays out of the way. 3-0 now the count. Three balls, no strikes, one down for Braden Olson and the Athletics here in the top of 7. That one's high and inside. It's a 4-pitch walk. Olson will take first for free. This game just creeping along here. Very slow game compared to last night's 7-inning affair. I want to thank everybody once again for joining our stream. I understand the opposition and what you could be watching and what you are watching. To listen to me and to support your Athletics, it means a lot. A whole lot more than you think, as that first pitch is going to be outside to Oscar Uhas. Your continued support means a lot, not just to me, but to the Clarinda Athletics, as they are playing some great baseball this season. 1-0 pitch to Uhas. That one's in there for strike one. We are hitting the point in the ninth. Top of the 7th here as another weird firework goes off, and there's another. Get the pitch from Doak here. That one's in there for strike two. It is, I believe, $1.50 beer night here at Phil Welch, and we know what that can turn into, and slowly is with a couple of members of the crowd. It's not gotten too wild, though. So 1-2 the count against Uhas. Here's the pitch. That one's low and outside for ball two. It's a great way to bring in money, though, for your team. Cheap beer will bring people out of their holes like you've never seen. Nonetheless, 2-2 the count to Uhas. Runner on first is Olson. He walked on 4 pitches. Pitch from Doak. That one swung on and smacked towards right center field. Going back is the right fielder. He's not going to have a play. It gets down into the gap. Pulling into second is Olson. Chugging around third is Olson, and he's going to get down, and he'll be out. That one was close. Olson tried to avoid the tag at home. I like the aggressiveness. You're up by a lot. But cut out at the plate, trying to score. It was Olson chugging around the third. I think I did get the names mixed up. I get a little excited up here. I'm sure y'all can tell. But still, an excellent double there from Oscar Uhas. A's have been putting them in the gap this evening, and that's been a recipe for success clearly, as now it'll be Grant Lock-in. His opportunity against Doak. That one's inside for ball one. Doak readies. Checks on the runner at second in Uhas, and that one's going to be dribbled towards the shortstop Coy. He'll fire towards first, and that will end the top of the 7th inning. We go to the home half of 7. We'll stretch here in St. Joe. Back in just a moment. Finishing up Sweet Caroline to end the stretch between the top and the bottom of the 7th as we go to the home half. The Athletics still up by a grand score of 10-3. And the St. Joe Mustangs will have their leadoff batter, Chris Coy, up to try and get something started for the Mustangs. And now we have Braden Olson walking off towards the dugout. He needs a towel. Wiping off his elbow. I'm not sure what he might be cut open just a little bit, looking for a Band-Aid or something. He says he'll be all right, though. It's one thing, it's his right elbow, so if he is bleeding and cut open, he's going to have to get it patched up. And, yeah, that's what the home plate umpire is now telling him. He's got to get that patched up. So he'll get that fixed up. You also don't want the blood dripping down to your arm and to your hand and then messing everything up. I can understand why he doesn't want to wrap up his his throwing arm, the elbow. So we will have a minor delay here before we begin the bottom of the 7th. Athletics just looking to hold on to this lead and try and claim their 17th win of the season and a 3-game sweep of the Mustangs. This is not a technical series, I suppose. There was a makeup game on Monday from a rainout on June 7th. But it's pretty much treated like a 3-game series. 3 games here in this 1 week, as now looks like Braden will be ready to rock and roll. He'll throw a sleeve over his arm that's now all bandaged up and get ready to catch for it. So once again, it'll be Chris Coy, the leadoff batter for the Mustangs. Also, I would like to correct myself. It was not Wyatt Doak on the mound for the Mustangs. It was Graydon Hammond. Sometimes it'd be your own. It was the Northwest pitcher, Graydon Hammond, on the mound. I know Graydon. Watched him pitch a lot this past season for the Bearcats. As that one swung and fouled off towards the right side. It'll be strike one to start against Chris Coy. They did not have number 35 listed on their roster sheet We thought it was Wyatt Doak, or at least the Mustangs folks up here in the booth thought that it was. But it was actually Graydon Hammond, so we all had it wrong. We want to give Graydon his credit where credit is due. As now it's 1-1 against Chris Coy. One pitch. That one swung on and fouled off towards the right side. One and two, the count against Coy. Here's the pitch. That one a big swing and a miss by Coy. Drop third strike. The tag will be applied by the catcher, Braden Olson. One down here by way of the K to start the inning for the Athletics. Now just 8 outs away from their 17th victory. Phil Welch has quickly cleared out here. It's getting late on Friday night. So we're approaching the 10 o'clock hour. Seth Winkler now in. He'll slap one right towards Bazemore at short. He'll fire over a strong throw towards Petrie at first. And now a couple down here in the bottom of the 7th. Once again, we thank you for joining, liking, subscribing, everything that YouTube wants you to do, I suppose. We've gained well over 100 new subscribers just these past few days from the continued support for your Athletics, and we really appreciate everything that you guys do for the team. Couple down here, 3-hole batter now in Frank Gall for the Mustangs. He will take ball one high. Frank launched one into the short porch and right for what was the game-tying home run there in the bottom of the 5th. Tied the game at 3-3, and then the A's exploded in the top of the 6th with 7. That's a big swing and a miss at a high fastball. Gall was in a little bit of a slump there for the past few games, but hopefully he broke out of it with that big-time dinger there towards right. Obviously it doesn't mean as much now, but it sure was a big deal whenever he hit it, as that one will be fouled off. It'll go off of Gall. Home plate umpire will make sure that Gall gets an extensive period of time to walk that one off. Whenever he comes back into the box, 1-2 will be the count. Athletics offensively extremely impressive in this one. They've scored 10 runs on 10 hits. Are looking forward to beating the Mustangs once again. The rivalry renewed for the 3rd time this week. We'll see how it shakes out here. So 1-2, now Gall is ready. He'll stand back in from the left side of the batter's box to face the righty pitcher. Here's the toss. That one's high for ball 2. Beautiful night at Phil Welch. 72 degrees it stayed the entire game. Cooling off just a little bit. Not really enough for a jacket, but if you had a jacket that you really were excited to wear and you're upset that it's summer, it'd be a night to do so, I'd say. 2-2 the count. Little reset on the mound for the A's. And we're ready for the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes to Gall. That one swung on and fouled straight back over our head. Also, if anybody was wondering, I know I mentioned briefly in last night's game that a baseball might have hit my vehicle, and it did hit my vehicle. A baseball last night in Clarinda did hit my vehicle. I will let you know it was just the door, and it barely even dented it, so it's okay. She is still a beaut, Clark. 2-2 pitch. That one's high. 3-2. Count now full. Sorry, folks. It's a 10-3 game. Slow-moving contest. We're grasping for material. I do actually have the YouTube chat pulled up here. If anybody has any fun questions, I'm not even sure what that would be for me. Go ahead and ask. And that one will be a soft ground ball towards the second baseman, Baumgart. You'll have to ask him in the 8th. We'll take a break here. 8th inning on tap from Phil Welch in just a moment. Back here in Phil Welch, as that one's fouled off by the leadoff hitter, Bazemore. 0-1 the count to him. And strike 2 in there from the pitcher, now that we understand, is Graydon Hammond. Did not have a 25 on the roster sheet. As that one is now grounded towards first, scooped up by Little. He will take it to the bag himself for the inning's first out. Top of the 8th here. We thank you for joining the stream. We enjoy having everybody in here. Okay, it is a new pitcher. It was 35 previously. Now it's 25. It's Seth Winkler on the mound. Position player in. I'm not sure if he normally pitches. The way he's throwing it, though, it seems like he does. And now in defensively for the Mustangs at second base, it'll be Eden Myers. So after a quick conversation with his catcher, Kraft, Winkler will stand back on the mound. That pitch swung on and fouled straight backward by Andrew Young. It's been an outstanding night for A's baseball. So they have pretty much torn the Mustangs limb for limb this week, as that one's fouled off for strike 2. Beautiful night for baseball here in Phil Welch. You can just barely see the outline of the top of the trees from the lights of St. Joesph, as that one's a big swing and a miss. It's a 3-pitch strikeout. 2 down, now in the top of the 8th. A's have been relentless in this series. Done a great job not taking their foot off the gas. Slowing down just a little bit here, but it's hard to not slow down batting-wise whenever the game is moving as sluggish as it is right now. That pitch from Winkler is outside, 2-0 now the count. We are 3 runs away from another run rule, if it so happens. And in case if anybody was wondering, I always hear, really at any level of play, is, oh man, what's the run rule, whenever you get to that point. And I'll say it here for you, so grab your pen and pad, or I guess the Notes app on your phone with the day and age that we live in. I prefer pen and paper because I feel like if I write it down, I always remember it. Maybe that's just a me thing, I'm not sure. It is 15 after 3. Or excuse me. I just messed that up as there is a walk issued to Cole Baumgart from Winkler. 15 after 5, 10 after 7. Again, that's 15 after 5, 10 after 7. So now it'll be Parker McNeil, the 4-hole batter, as he will chop one towards the second baseman, Eden Myers, and that one just went right between his legs. Advancing to third is Baumgart. He is in there safely. Third baseman Gundelfinger thinks he got him. He did not, though. And, I'm going to score that as an error against Myers. He just completely misplayed that baseball. It didn't really look like it took too weird of a hop, but read it wrong. That one went right through his legs, and that'll be John Petrie with runners on the corners and 2 down. If Petrie hits a home run here, and there are no runs scored in the bottom of the 8th, then the game would be over. So runners on the corners for Petrie. That ball's outside. 1-0 now the count. It's been a fun night here at Phil Welch, especially if you're an A's fan that traveled south to watch Clarinda play tonight, as that one will be chopped foul towards the right side. 1-1 now the count. Count evened up, 1 apiece. Runners on the corners for Petrie. That pitch, swing and a miss by John Petrie. Now 1-2 the count. Athletics, 10 hits on the board for them. 10 runs to match. 8 hits for the Mustangs and just 3 runs for them. That pitch high and inside, 2-2 now the count. St. Joe always seems to be really close to getting out of an inning, and then they end up lengthening it. And, that kind of goes into your rotation and your relievers, and it wears everybody down. It's a tough way to play a game as they're going to back pick towards first, not in time. Nice throw down by Zach Kraft. And it will be a 3-2 full count. It's been a great night for baseball here at Phil Welch. Athletics well on their way to their 17th win. Here's the pitch from Winkler. That one swung on and tapped towards the shortstop, Coy. It will be ran up on by the third baseman, Gundelfinger, and he's going to fire towards Coy, who covers the bag at third, not in time. Runner will score from third. Fielded as an infield hit by Petrie. Runner still on the corners. And 11 hits and 11 runs now notched for the A's. Here at the, I don't have the live stats pulled up. I'm not able to get access to that. Normally I am. I don't know what's going on with the Mink website. I'm not getting the live stats, though, so I can't officially report. I do know that here in the stadium they have it as 4 errors for the Mustangs. So score it how you like, as there's a big swing and a miss by Andy Gill. 11-3 our score in favor of the Athletics. Pitch from Winkler, little half swing. They'll say he didn't go. 1-1 now the count. That pitch is in there for strike 2. And Petrie with a stolen bag. Dugout loves it. So now move the runner at first up towards second, a couple on in scoring position. 1-2 pitch to Gill. That one's inside, but they're going to call it strike three looking. An excellent pitch there from Winkler, and that will end the top of the eighth. The Athletics tack on one. Will go to the bottom of the eighth inning. Our score, 11-3. Back here in St. Joseph for the bottom of the eighth inning. My name is Seth Morey. We thank you for joining us this beautiful evening in St. Joseph. Again, this broadcast powered by KMA Sports, all their equipment, just my voice. As we begin the bottom of the eighth, and it will be Jaden Little up to bat from the right-handed side of the plate. He'll see the first pitch slow and inside for ball one. That pitch is going to be high. 2-0 now the count. Mustangs fans are getting into the $1.50 beer night here. They're really feeling the effects as that one's in there for strike one. 2-1 now the count. We got a crowd over here on the first base side. They're hollering. That one swung and fouled off towards the right side for strike two. At least somebody here is having a good time tonight. The Mustangs surely aren't. They're well on their way to dropping to 500 on the season and 10-10. Two-two pitch. That one swung on and chopped softly to Gill at third. He gathers it and loses it on the transition. And now a runner on first for the Mustangs. That'll bring up Micah Kobashevsky. So now Kobashevsky, the product out of Missouri Western, will stand in from the left side of the plate. As he's got a runner on first. He'll foul one off straight backward. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Kobashevsky. That one's high and outside for ball one. We thank you for joining tonight. All the likes, the subscriptions, everything means more than you know to growing the team and the accounts and having more viewership on each stream that we do. Count evened up 1 apiece. Here's the pitch. That one's high for ball 2. 2-1 now the count. Here's the pitch. That one's high, 3-1. Fans here getting a little bit rowdy. They're hauling at Kovachevsky to swing at high fastballs. He's not going to do it, though. He's in a 3-1 count in the driver's seat, as that one's going to be in there. Strike 2. So 3-2 the count, nobody down. Runner on first is Jaden Little. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be just inside for ball 4. Couple runners on with nobody out. Mustangs getting something brewing. Athletics are still up by 8, but don't want to let anything happen here, as that'll bring in Zach Kraft, the catcher tonight. He's batting in the 6-hole spot. It's been a fun season so far for the Athletics. I know with speaking with them, they just love baseball. Just a team that just genuinely loves the sport and loves going out there every day and battling with whomever that they might be facing, including these Mustangs. The rivalry renewed this week. First 2 games taken by the Athletics. They're threatening to take game 3. Couple runners on, though, and nobody out for the Mustangs, as that one swung on and fouled off towards the right side for strike 1. It's been an extremely fun summer, just speaking from personal experience this summer for me, getting to come out and having everybody give me a warm welcome at Aberley Field this summer. As that one swung on and fouled off for strike 2 against Kraft. It's been extremely enjoyable getting to call the games for this squad, getting to know the players. It's been an absolute blast. Couple strikes against Kraft. Trying to avoid a strikeout here, with a couple runners on and nobody down for the Mustangs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's on the outside half for ball 2. Total attendance tonight here at Phil Welch was just over 2,000. As that pitch is swung and fouled off, staying alive is Kraft. Just over 2,000 for a large stadium here in Phil Welch. Beautiful park. My first time here today. Never been here to see the park, obviously. Seen videos, photos, social media, live streams, seen all that, but it's different in person. It's set up just a little bit differently than what I expected, but it's definitely very nice. This is also the home field of the Bishop LeBlond High School here in St. Joseph. We'll do the 2-2 once again here to Kraft. That one swung on, fouled off, still staying alive is Kraft at the plate. Athletics don't want to have to reach into their bullpen again. They do have some motion stirring out there, though, just in case if they do need them. Count's still even here. A few straight foul balls from Kraft. Remains the count at 2-2. Runners on first and second for the Mustangs. Here's the pitch. That one is on the outside corner. Strike 3 looking. It's a strikeout to get the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. Now with a couple runners on and one down for Tyler Gundelfinger. Walking up to a little Lincoln Park. I don't think I've noticed that yet. I like Lincoln Park. Second time I've discussed the music that I liked. But I enjoy music. I am a music enjoyer. I don't really know anybody that isn't a music enjoyer, I guess. Here's the first pitch to Gundelfinger. That one's low, little off-speed pitch. Almost got away from Olsen. 1-0 is the count to Gundelfinger. He's the third baseman tonight. He's done a nice job. But his Mustangs just falling short in these past few games that they've played against the Athletics. Still time in this one, though. Game is not over. There's a strike in there. 1-1 now the count. Crowd booing the umpire. As usual, as the 1-1 pitch is going to be swung on. A very high chopper towards Gill at third. He will not make a throw to first. I do not know what happened there. My best guess is that the runner going from second to third just kind of happened to be running right in the way of the throw from Gill, and he didn't really want to hit the runner, which I understand that. So he went ahead and he held off throwing that one, and now the bases are juiced with just one down. So that'll bring in Eden Myers. He has been subbed in for Seth Winkler in this one, defensively at least. Shakes out differently in the batting order as it's ball one outside to him. A's trying to keep the Mustangs at bay. Don't want it to get too interesting here. It is an 8-run lead, but bases are juiced with one down. Things can get away and out of hand quickly, as the Athletics know. As that one's in there for strike one. Count all evened up. One run apiece. That one is going to be high towards center field. It'll hang up for Andrew Young. He'll make the grab. Throw it in as hard as he can towards third, trying to cut down the runner from advancing there. He won't. And it is a sac fly for Eden Myers. So runners will be on the corners with two down now here in the bottom of the fourth. St. Joe comes another run closer. They're now down by 7. So pinch hitter at the plate. Didn't quite get the name, as that one's going to be skied out towards center field and caught for the final out of the 8th inning. One more inning, 3 more outs to go for the A's. Well on their way to their 17th victory. We'll be back in just a moment here on the A's YouTube channel. We thank you for joining us tonight. And we will have the exciting conclusion of this one soon. Back here for the final inning of this one from Phil Welch Stadium here in St. Joseph. For the first 4 innings of this game, it really looked like it was going to be a close battle all the way through. For the first 5 innings. It was 3-3, and then in the top of the 6th, the Athletics exploded in a 7-run inning, as that one's way over the backstop by Seth Winkler. For ball 1 to the batter, Braden Olson. And my name is Seth Morey. I thank you for joining me on this beautiful evening, as that one will be fouled back for strike 1. It's been an honor to get to call these games for the Athletics. Great opportunity for me and what I do. As that one, a big swing and a miss by Olson for strike 2. It's been a very nice, cool, crisp night here in St. Joe. And a perfect night for baseball, and I hope everybody that's watching has enjoyed the stream. I know we had a few hitches throughout. Everything is kind of cleared up on my end, though, which is what we always like to hear, especially whenever we're talking with technology. 1-2 pitch. That one swung and pops straight up. The second baseman, Eden Myers, will go over towards shallow right, and he will make the grab for the first out of the top of 9. So now that will bring in Oscar Uhas, the right fielder tonight. He'll bat from the left-handed side of the plate against the righty, Seth Winkler. The Athletics have been playing entertaining baseball this season. I know right now it's not as exciting, but I'm sure that's exactly what head coach Ryan Eberle wants. He wants not exciting baseball and huge leads late. Gotta love that. The 0-1 pitch is going to be in there on the outside bottom corner for strike number 2 here against Uhas. Athletics, an unbelievable season for them, as that one will be slapped right back up towards the middle. A slow roller to Coy. He'll fire towards first for the second out of the 9th. The A's have only lost 2 games. Both of those have been to the Merchants. They beat the Merchants in their first meeting in a very close game. They came back in the top of the 9th against Carroll. That was in Carroll, Iowa. And in the past 2 games against the Merchants, they have lost. That's a big swing and a miss there by Grant Locken. One thing about this team, and, you know, as a journalist and a broadcaster, I always go try and chat with the team before the game, kind of get a feel for how the guys are feeling on that particular day. Day in, day out, I see the exact same attitude no matter what the result or outcome was the game before. Now, obviously, they haven't had a lot of bad outcomes, but especially I'm talking about last night. Last night's game against the Mustangs, they won 10-0 and run ruled them in 7 innings. The night before that, they lost against the Carroll Merchants up in Carroll's. That one almost gets a piece of the lock in. He stays out of the way, though. 2-2 now the count. It was a late lead blown for the Athletics, and then, you know, it's always how you're going to bounce back afterwards. And I wanted to, you know, kind of see how the guys were mood-wise, as that one will take us to the bottom of the 9th. I'll keep it here for just a moment. Want to see how they were mood-wise, and this team just does not change. Their attitude towards each game is always on par with what they need to be. They're never, you know, too upset or letting the game get too far into their heads. I think that's a big part of why they're so successful this season. They're going to be gunning for their 17th win here in the bottom of the 9th whenever we come back. The conclusion of this one on the Clarinda A's YouTube channel. Back in just a moment. back here for the conclusion of this one. Bottom of the ninth on tap here on the Clarinda A's YouTube channel. My name is Seth Morey. Once again, we thank you so much for joining. One last shout out to KMA Sports, all of their equipment, just my voice. We thank KMA Sports. You can find them at KMAland.com for all the most recent articles and news around the area. First batter is Plunked here to start the ninth. New pitcher on the mound for the Athletics, as that one will give way to Chris Coy. As a pinch hitter in for the Mustangs. That was number 3. Oh, that was Coy, excuse me. That was hit by pitch and now on first, and that will bring in Winkler to the plate with nobody down and a runner on first. Strike one to Seth Winkler. Athletics 3 outs away from win number 17. And another Mink League win under their belt. It would be their 13th. That one inside for ball one. 1-1. Now the count. The Athletics currently sit at 12-2 within the Mink League, with only 2 losses, those 2 that I mentioned earlier, to the Carroll Merchants. That one throw back towards first, not in time. 1-1, the count remains. That pitch swung on and popped straight up towards the right side in foul territory. Petrie going after it. It will land into the seats, and that will be strike 2. So 1-2 now, the count against Seth Winkler. Missouri Western product as well. A lot of Mo West guys here in St. Joe. They like to stay close to where they're used to, the area that they're familiar to, I guess. 2-2 now the count. Runner on first is Coy. Two pitch. That one swung on and fouled off. We'll do it again. Mustangs trying to make this game go as long as they can. So we look around the Mink League. Currently in the top of the 7th, the Nevada Griffins are leading the North Missouri Natties 8-2. Actually, let me refresh my page, and I was correct. So 14-2, just as I suspected. My page was not refreshed. It's the final score at the end of 7 innings. That one's popped up. Shallow towards right, making the catch is Juhas for the first out of the 9th. So 14-2, the Nevada Griffins defeat the Natties in 7 innings there in Nevada. We also have gone final in Chillicothe after 9 innings. The Monarchs defeat the Mudcats 14-4 in Chile. This one not quite concluded yet, but will here soon. Now Frank Gall up to bat. He's already got a homer here tonight. He put one onto the short porch in right, and he'll watch ball 1. Gall, he's been in a little bit of a slump as of recently, but he's kind of broke loose from it with that homer back in the 5th. That one's going to be just high for ball 2. And I want to preface, that Frank Gall homer was a tying solo shot back in the bottom of the 5th to bring it to 3-3. The crowd erupted. It was a huge moment, and it seemed like the Mustangs had all the momentum, and the A's absolutely just put out the fire there in the top of the 6th with a 7-run inning in the 6th. That one's in there, 2-1. And now the count against Gall. Two 2-1 pitch. Coy on the run towards second. Throw down from Olson behind the plate. Skips in the dirt and will not be in time. So Coy advances on the stolen base. 3-1 is now the count at the plate to Gall. Athletics 2 outs away. Don't want to dance around anybody. Just try and hum some in there. and get some quick outs and get out of this one as soon as you can. Here's the pitch. That one's high and outside, and Gall will walk. So now a speedy runner in at first. Couple of runners on with just one down. There is an opportunity, though, for a double play. Gall is speedy at first, but at least he's not at the plate to beat out the throw to first after a double play. So now it'll be Jaden Little, the first baseman tonight, to stand in, take his cuts here in the ninth. He's got a runner on second in Coy, and a runner on first in Gall. Here's the first pitch. That one's high and inside. Almost got a piece of Little, but it's ball one. One-0 count. That one, the bender in there for strike one. 1-1 count, all evened up. Runners on first and second. More Mink League baseball is on tap. I'll tell you more about that right after we see this 1-1 pitch to Little. That one swung on and chopped foul towards the left side. 1-2 now our count. Tomorrow it'll be the Ban Johnson Raiders here at Phil Welch taking on the Mustangs. That is tomorrow night at 7. I will preface all of these games are Saturday, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central. Will also be the Natties taking on the Griffins in Game 2 down in Nevada, as that one will be called strike three looking. And the second out as the runner at second and Coy advances toward third. Now runners at the corners with the 5-hole batter now coming in, Micah Kobashevsky. Then it's the KC Knights in Clarinda. Excuse me, that is, I have gotten word today that I do believe that that game is not happening, and that is incorrect on the Mink League schedule. Let me just confirm really quick, as that pitch will be thrown down towards second, not in time to get the runner. Gall will take second base. It's ball one to Kobashevsky. I do believe I did get a message. Yes, there's no game tomorrow night, so do not pay attention to the Mink League website. There is no game tomorrow night in Clarinda. So I'm sorry if you had some plans to go to Eberly Field and enjoy a night of baseball, but there is no game. There is no tomorrow, Rocky. But there is a Sunday, as the A's will take on the Monarchs that Sunday. And then finally, to round out our Mink League schedule for tomorrow night, as that one's fouled off towards the left side for strike one, it's the Merchants at the Mudcats out in Chillicothe. 2-1 the count here against Kobashevsky. Athletics trying to close out their 17th win of the season. Lefty-lefty the matchup. Couple runners on second and third with two down. That pitch is going to be just outside. 3-1 now the count. I'd just hum one right on in there. Even if it's obliterated, it's still a 4-run lead. 3-1 pitch. That one's just low and outside to Kobashevsky. He will walk and juice the bases with two down. So the game is extended just a little bit longer, and now that'll bring in Zach Kraft. I would say that I've seen crazier things than a comeback here by the Mustangs, but I really don't know if I have. 7-run deficit down to your final out in the ninth. That'd be wild. First pitch to Kraft almost gets him inside for ball one. Athletics are out hitting the Mustangs 11-9. A lot of runners left on for the Mustangs. That one swung on and grounded sharply to Gill at third. He will take it himself to the bag, and that will close out the 17th win of the season for the Clarinda Athletics. How about it? A 3-game sweep of the St. Joe Mustangs finishes off here in Phil Welch in St. Joe. Teams are always different whenever you play them on the road versus home, but the A's take care of business here. Our final score from Phil Welch, 11-4. We thank you all so much for joining me in the booth. Once again, my name is Seth Morey. Big thank you to KMA Sports for providing the equipment for this stream, and big thank you to the Athletics, especially General Manager Rodney Eberle, along with Ryan Eberle, the head coach. They've allowed me to call these games. Glad to travel here to St. Joe and get to watch the Athletics pick up their 17th win of the season. So 17-2 for the A's on the year. 10-10, the Mustangs fall to 500. That'll do it here from Phil Welch. My name is Seth Morey signing off for the night. We will see you Sunday evening.